Hi, this is a help video for the Unit 2 review, just number 18. In this problem, we're being given an equation for a parabola, but there's a story around it. And so I know because of the 16 being negative, as well as from the story, that my parabola has to be something that goes upside down like this. And this is going to be a graph that has t, comma, h. As its ordered pair, if you want to use the letters that they gave you. They're graphing a relationship between time and how far off the ground an object is. So if I had an ordered pair, not saying that this is on this particular parabola, but if I had an ordered pair like 2, 10, that would mean at time equals 2 seconds out, the object is 10 meters? Yeah, meters off the ground. So that's not on this actual parabola, but just so you understand that that's the context. And so they want to know for how many seconds is the object above a height of 25. So since height is my y variable, asking about this is saying, hey, go to the y height of 25. So if I had a y-axis over here, I'd go to 25 on that axis. And I would draw across, and what I want to find out is how long is it from here to here in terms of time? How long did that take? So in order to do that, we're going to just use our calculator. So on my calculator, I've already put the function in. You can go ahead and do the same. Hit pause on the video as much as you need to in order to line up with what I've got here. And then the window for this is actually kind of tricky. I played around with several different, attempts before I settled on this. I knew that my x-min would be 0 because I'm looking at time. And so time starting at 0 makes sense. We don't have negative time usually. I ended up picking 3 as my max. I initially started out with 10. And then my parabola looked super skinny on my screen. And so I went with a smaller number so that it would be more spread out. And then for my min and max, I knew that the height minimum should be 0 because it's height and we're like not going underground or under the sea or anything. And then the max I picked as 28 because we're only interested in like the part of the parabola that goes above 25. And so that ended up working out pretty well. I can see in my little screen here that this down here is what the parabola is going to look like. I'm going to go back in my y equals now. And I'm also going to include a red line at 25 because remember we're interested in how long is the graph above the height of 25. So let's look at the picture of that. And then I'll show you how to use a calculator tool to figure out those two places because you see it's really, really tight in here. It's really, really close. And so I'm not really sure, like just looking at that and tracing, that's not going to be adequate. So on the trace key, if you hit the second button and then trace, you're in a menu called calculate. What we want to do is use the intersect tool, item number 5. So I just hit a 5. Now the calculator is going to have a conversation with you now. It's asking questions at the bottom of the screen. And right now it's asking me, is this blue curve that the little cursor is on, is that the first curve I want to intersect? And in fact it is, so I'm going to hit enter. And now it's asking me at the bottom of the screen, is the second curve the red one? Why, yes it is. I will hit enter. Now it wants me to get close to where I think those curves intersect. And I did, so I'm going to hit enter. And that point of intersection is being displayed at the bottom of the screen. It says 1, 25. I'm going to write that down on my piece of paper over here. So 1, 25 is this point of intersection. Okay, let's look back at the calculator screen. I'm going to use that calculate tool again to find the intersection. It's asking me, is the blue graph my first curve? Yes. Is the red graph my second curve? Yes. And now it wants me to guess. So I'm going to get over here because there is a little like chunk of parabola that goes up above the red line. So I think there's a second point of intersection at 1.25, 25. So I'm going to write that down on my paper too. So 1.25, 25 is this point. There's a lot of 25s in this problem. But the parts that I want to pay attention to now are this one and this 1.25. So the question was, for how many seconds is the object above a height of 25 meters? Well, from time equals 1 to time equals 1.25 is 0.25 seconds, right? Because 1.25 minus 1 is what I did in my head to get that answer. Thanks for watching.